What's up, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about The Green Knight. Now, this is a fantasy retelling of the medieval story between Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Unfortunately, I was one of those people who have not read nor have seen a movie based on these characters, so I have no original source material to compare it to. And so what goes down in this movie is that the Green Knight challenges anyone to his personal game, in which he will allow the challenger to strike a blow to any part of his body with any way, shape, or form. The champion will then bind themselves to the Green Knight's weapon, which is the axe, and in a year will return the favor and seek him out to where the Green Knight will return the same exact blow to the champion. And my God, he was just kind of led to a trap there. Now, if I hadn't made it clear on my headline, we are talking about spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, please go check it out for yourself. There are just a few things and a few spoiler-esque details that I really wanted to discuss because they were just things that were running out of my mind that was not made clear in the movie, but something that really revels in the audience's thoughts. So, here we go. So Sir Gawain, played by Dev Patel, he is just so high up on his ego because he comes from a family of royalty and riches, and you know what? He thought, why not? The glory, just the persona of wanting to be a knight, especially having that sword in his hand, and he goes ahead and decapitates the Green Knight, only to find out that the Green Knight technically didn't die. The guy's still alive. He can play this sort of game. The headless Green Knight picks up his own head, directs himself towards Sir Gawain, and goes, 1 year hence. And my God, I love Ralph Ineson's voice as the Green Knight. I mean, even if it was just him in a suit, or if it was just a CGI type character put on screen, I love Ralph Ineson. And if you don't know who Ralph Ineson is, he's in like Gunpowder Milkshake, Guardians of the Galaxy, The Witch. Yes, he was the father in The Witch. He just has such an iconic voice, and he really revels as the character of the Green Knight. Unfortunately, this character, which is like the best thing of the entire movie, by the way, is only really in 2 big scenes. And it really is the beginning and the ending of the film, because this is not really about the Green Knight, which would have been awesome, by the way. That was kind of a lost opportunity. But this story is really about Sir Gawain, and I keep fucking up his name. It's Sir Gawain? Gawain? Yeah. Sir Gawain and his journey, and, he's just got to find some courage. As a year goes by, Sir Gawain is just so haunted by the fact that he has to make his appointment. And you know what? He's reveling in all this glory because people are making songs about him. People are talking high and glorified of his bravery and how he faced the Green Knights. And yet again, he is so feared inside that he is literally going to have to walk to his death in about a year. Now, this movie is written and directed by David Lowery, who's responsible for Ghost, Ain't Them Body Saints, and Pete's Dragon. And if you're unfamiliar with some of his works, and I highly recommend it, by the way, for any cinephile out there, is that a lot of his movies are more of a visual piece of art than it is like a solid blockbuster, because he's more of a visual storyteller. And this movie and many other of his projects, it's rather slow. I wouldn't say it's boring, but it's really slow. Now, if you go into this movie thinking that you might be in for a big action-packed adventure like The Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings, or if you think this movie is going to be sexy and exotic like Game of Thrones, it's not that at all. Once Sir Gawain hits the road and makes post-haste to his appointment at the Green Chapel, he faces some unexpected threats and obstacles along the way. Now, I do appreciate the color scheme and the landscape locations that they actually shot. Like, a lot of the camera work were just immaculately executed. Just beautiful, beautiful scenery. And there are some portions of the storytelling into which he comes across various characters who are unpredictably unlikable and somehow sympathetic at the same time. And, you just feel a little paranoid to be in his position because he has a bad way of trusting people because he has no knowledge of the outside world. And yet again, at a vulnerable state, he is put at some really bad corners. Now, there are some interesting and colorful characters that he comes across on his journey. One of them is the Scavenger, who's played by the kid from The Killing of a Sacred Deer, who's a talented actor, by the way. And there's the one headless ghost girl, who's played by the villain in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And then there's Joel Edgerton, who's kind of odd. Kind of an odd guy, but he plays the Lord. And Alicia Vikander, who plays the Lady and Essel, which I was very confused. I was wondering if she was just really faking him out, or she really was playing two particular characters. I don't know why they didn't just hire an actress who probably resembled her, but maybe in a way where it was emotionally messing with his mind psychologically, that Sir Gawain would be a little seduced by the Lady, because she did, and she is, reminding him of Essel. You know, his love, his whore back home, I guess you can say. Is that the appropriate thing to say? I hope I'm not misusing that. I constantly felt bad for Sir Gawain. I mean, the guy is consistently being questioned on his nobility and his strength. He was just being tested frequently, even when he was vulnerable. And they would just question him about him being a knight, and then they would just totally mess with him, totally fuck with his emotions and just psychologically, and then they would rob him, take advantage of him, jerk him off. Just weird stuff. He just gets derailed on his quest, and it's not as frequent because the movie is like a little less than 2 hours. You know, this movie could have been a really big epic and could have gone in a way of 2.5 hours, but I feel like the guy could use less problems. Even the CGI fox that he befriends along the way doesn't help him out, not one bit. And then once he starts talking and sort of threatening Sir Gawain, he's just, get out of here, go on your way. I miss my horse. With all these side characters, I just felt like we could have gotten more out of them because nothing was fully realized with these side characters. And I know that they're part of the journey, but at the same time, it almost felt like it was for nothing. We could have dug a little deeper than that. So we finally get to the Green Chapel, where I think Sir Gawain shows up a day early because the Green Knight is still hibernating. Once it's Christmas Day, he wakes up, and it is time for Sir Gawain to meet his fate. And he cowers. You know, he's not ready. He's not prepared. And the Green Knight is wondering, did I show any sort of fear? Did I cower? Did I give you any less time? Because he had a year to find that kind of courage, to face his death, to come to terms with what he owed. Sir Gawain questions, is this it? Is this all he had to look forward to in his journey after a year? Is his own death? And the Green Knight responds, yes. What else is there to it? And just like any obscure A24 film, we are granted a vision in which Sir Gawain escapes his fate of the Green Knight and goes back home to where he gets crowned and glorified as the knight he is claiming to be. And then he bears a child with Essel, takes that baby away from her, totally exes her out, marries somebody else, and then down the line, his people resent him. His people want to kill him, and his family just don't want anything to do with him. Bringing it back to the chapel, he is floored. He takes off the green article that the lady has given him and accepts his fate of the Green Knight. And for that quick moment where he tells himself that he's ready to tell the knight that he was ready to die, I took away, and this is without me doing any type of research, that whether he dies today or he dies later on down the years, he had to be an acceptance of a man and the responsibilities that he has taken onto himself, because no other fate, whether it be now or tomorrow or years down the road, that it was going to be less of a glorified fate that he wanted to be as the knight. Again, that is speculation that I took away after watching the film. I'm sure there are other interpretations to it, but this movie is a visual treat. It is slow. It is not your typical blockbuster, but it could have been better. But at the same time, I appreciated it for what it was. That's all I got to say about The Green Knight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Jaren. Look forward to more reviews, and I will see you guys at the movies. Okay, bye.